It's a game changer.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview the top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Lead Agent Secrets.
All right, so what I want to do is I want to dive into your third topic, and your third topic is asking great questions. So why is that your third secret to success?
So I found from early on in my career, the way to actually learn anything, to advance anything, was to ask questions. Okay, if I didn't know something, I was never afraid to ask. I look at like kids in elementary school. I get some kids in middle school now. Like, nobody wants to speak up. Nobody wants to ask questions. If you ask questions, you're going to know it for later, right? When we're going and we're talking to clients and we're talking to business partners, if I'm learning about something specific, like credit card processing machines, like I didn't know when I started in business that people actually paid for credit card processing machines. I just thought they had I don't know where they came from, right?
It's like
yeah, they're just there. But learning about those, well, the next person I ran into who sells credit card processing machines, I understood what they were talking about, right? And so for me, those questions not only get me more educated, get me to be able to arm myself to help out my clients, especially if it's like contractor or home inspections, like, well, why is this not working? What is this? And so I'm always asking questions. It's also a great way to have a conversation with somebody, because everybody likes to feel better about themselves. And when you ask a lot of questions, they get to talk about themselves, and it's rewarding that way.
I always remember there's this story. It's actually a sales guy to do with asking great questions. And he talks about being on a flight, right? And this guy next to him, and he was just like, what do you do? And he just kept asking this guy questions. And the guy, he said, got off the other side of the flight and went, that is one of the best conversations I've ever had in my life. And then he looked back at the conversation, he went, the only thing I did was asking questions. I literally never spoke up. I just asked this guy questions, and he came off the flight, went, this is the best chat. Lo and behold, it actually turned into like a multiple 5-figure deal because he knew someone was in business and he did the intro. It was so bizarre. But it's like asking great questions comes from being a great listener, right? So these coincide. So if you're not good at listening and you aren't engaged, like active listening is actually one of the hardest things to do, because like constantly being engaged while people are speaking is actually incredibly draining. And it's not saying you're not interested, but if you really want to take on board what someone's saying, to dilute it and understand it and then ask good questions about what they're discussing, it's hard. It's hard. Like it isn't easy. And people think listening is like, your ears are on. It's like they're always fucking on, people.
Right.
Doesn't make people
try. They want to say what they want to say. Like I'm right now. I'm like, oh, let me say that. Like, and if you listen to what they're saying, you won't know that question until you ask it. If you already have that pre-planned question ahead of time, it's like, well, as they're talking and you're listening, you have to ask questions about what they're actually saying as opposed to what you want to hear.
Yeah. When it comes to one of the things that someone else on the show actually said, which I thought was interesting, because this is to do with asking great questions. I also think it's not being afraid to sound stupid, which is, being vulnerable to things that you don't know. One of the things that they told us they did, which I just thought was such a smart idea, was they actually booked with their preferred partners hour-long consulting sessions, we're calling, with like contractors, roofers, plumbers, that they're preferred partners. And this was part of their agreement. Like, I'll sell the homes and any work that needs doing can come to you. And they had that deal. But part of the deal was, I need you to educate me on what you do, what you look for, how you look for things. Because then when I'm speaking with clients, you just come from a totally different place that other realtors cannot come from. And that also comes down to asking good questions and building that in, and building in the fact that you want to be an extremely knowledgeable agent, right? So people perceive someone that is knowledgeable as an authority, and they get security from it, right? So you're communicating all that, you got drywall, you got rot, you got this, you got that, you got a leak, and also you can also, if you wanted to, but you could even give guesstimates, like based on what we've done before, that's probably going to be about $1,000. Right. Based on this and that, it's probably going to be $2,000. So maybe that's something we can get the seller to fund towards. Maybe that's something we can broker in here and there. So when people are actually communicating with you, it's just like night and day difference. I think I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this. I think, well, one of the things we coach on with new agents is being a knowledgeable agent in your market, like from property to market trends to all this stuff. I think there is a lot of agents who've been in the market, for example, 10 years, like you've been in for a long time, who are still not knowledgeable. Like they've kind of got through it. They do like 5 deals a year, 10 deals a year, maybe. And they're mainly referrals and they've never really made it. And I think that's why people, for example, in our team, people we know have done 60 plus deals in their first ever year in real estate. First year. Started, we were speaking with an amazing guy out in Canada, first year ever in real estate, did 64 or 68 deals. And he was just like, well, before I got into it, I think he was out in Canada, and he was like, I just know this market so fucking well. He's like, so when I picked up the phone, because he did a bunch of cold calling too, he was like, I could just talk to them about their house, about the market, what things are looking like. I could just convey what they wanted to hear. And I had such in-depth market knowledge prior to going in. He was only young, but he spent time asking great questions, building that knowledge, and gaining that kind of authoritative, is that the right word, stance, where it's like, hey, you come and work with me, like I'm going to make sure that you get a great fucking deal.
Right. Well, I think it's along those lines. It's like you have to learn the community, the market, but it changes. Like, why are we in this situation we are with the pandemic and no housing nationwide at the same time with everyone, right? You got to be able to speak to that and understand it and make people understand it. So that's if you are asking questions and learning, constantly learning, it's a game changer.
So Spencer, why do you think somebody can be in the business for 10 years and also not be knowledgeable in the market?
They don't ask any questions. There's a lot of people, and the barred entry in real estate is so low. Yeah. To get a real estate license in any state is really easy to get into it. So you don't have to be a student of real estate to do it, right? I mean, I have a master's degree in urban planning. Like, I like to think about why would you want to live here? What's the traffic flow going to be like? I am a constant student, and people who don't want to learn, who just are out there to make a buck, I think that's why they don't do it. They're just not really invested in it.
Yeah, I think you raise a very valid point. They're here for the wrong reason. They're not client first or service first. They're just looking at a commission. And if you're just trying to push volume, in this market, unfortunately, you can just push volume, and it doesn't take you being a good agent to do it. It takes you know how to write out a basic contract and sell somebody on the dream of buying or selling a home, right?
Right.
I think what we're talking about with that point is it's convenience versus commitment, right? Like that's what we're discussing. It's like there is a lot. I don't think this is going to be possible. I would love to see these numbers. So in North America, they say, so in the US even, there's about 2 million realtors, maybe a little bit more now, right? And yet the vast majority of the homes sold are sold basically by the top 5% or whatever in the market, right? And then everyone else is, I don't know what they're doing, nothing, right? So, yeah. and like, I would love to know how many active agents, like people who are actually trying to be real estate agents, who are failing versus who just have a license and they are tracked by the NAR, who aren't even trying. Because I also think the statistics was that 84% fail in the first year, 92% leave within 5 years as well. So basically it's just a giant revolving door, this industry of people trying and failing. But I also think we aren't segmenting that from the people that, hey, it's $500 to get your license. You pass an exam and your mum wants to sell her hand in your house, you can get a 10K check. You get your license, you do the work, and she agrees to let you sell the home. You collect the 10K check. You're technically still an agent, and then you leave the next year because you've got no interest in doing it, but you wanted the money, right? And it's like, well, they're getting grouped with the rest of us. I'm not sure how they'll ever delineate between the two, if ever, but it would be really interesting to find out the committed versus the convenient. I think that would be a really interesting statistic. But with that being said, Spencer, what I want to do is I want to give you the floor. So if anyone's looking to buy or sell a home in your area, if you are growing your team, or if you've got anything else going on that we haven't spoken about on the show, how could people reach out, whether it's phone, email, website, social media? Let the people know where you are at, my friend.
Right. So my website, spencerreg.com. Phone number, 608-841-2221. I said that a little fast, didn't I? 608-841-2221. Email, team@spencerreg.com. We're out there, social media. You look up Spencer and Wisconsin Realtor, you're going to find me out there.
He's going to be there, number one on Google. And one of the things we didn't touch on, and we got one final quick fire round anyway. But you've also got over 200 5-star reviews, which is fucking crazy. So congratulations on that. Now, to wrap up the show, we've got 3 quick fire questions. So we're going to shoot them, and you got to go straight off your nut to answer them. All right. So first question: what's your favorite book or person you are learning from right now?
I'm reading The Compound Effect. That's by
Darren Hardy, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, it's a good book.
It's a great book.
I like it.
Second question: what's your goal in the next 12 months?
120 sales.
Okay, and third, what is the obstacle that you see from allowing you to hit that goal?
Getting accepted offers, just not enough. We got the clients, the database, the people out there, just getting the actual offers accepted in this market.
Perfect. Spencer, this has been amazing. Thank you for coming on the show. Everyone, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in gaining access to our courses and coaching programs, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.